in the galley in the center of the boat is a countertop with a stainless steel sink and faucet. I'm going to want to tear this out and rebuild it and make it look nicer. The wood near the bottom has some water damage as well. This is also the engine compartment with the engine below there. I've got several projects planned for the engine, but to be able to really get in there and work on it, tearing this compartment out is a big first step. The engine does indeed run. It doesn't look pretty, but it does run. Before I start taking the counter apart, I've got to remove some plumbing underneath first. For a demolition project like this, you're going to need some work gloves, eye protection. I suggest a breathing mask because of dust and mold, a screwdriver, pry bar, a hammer, better yet, a rubber mallet to reduce the noise, a good bottle of aged rum for when you hit your thumb with the rubber mallet, and I also found channel locks to be very helpful. After some cursing and swearing, I finally got everything free from the wall. There you can see the countertop. I'll finish taking that apart and take the old wood and tile to the dump. I saved some old teak boards from the project and lots of extra screws. The whole demolition project took over an hour, mostly because I was working in a tight space. During this demolition phase of the boat's interior, I made frequent trips to the dump to get old material off the boat and out of the living spaces. Otherwise, it was difficult to move around. But now you see I have unrestricted access to the entire engine. Much easier to see everything and work on it now. In some upcoming videos, I'll highlight some initial engine projects like replacing this raw water intake pump for the cooling system that had completely seized up. I replaced it with a new but different brand of pump. I also replaced the old raw water strainer for the cooling system, which had a small crack in it. I found a much less expensive and different style strainer online, which seems to work just fine. More to come in future videos. This is my generator. I use it on the boat to run the air conditioner and power tools and whatnot. For right now, I put it up on the back here so that when it exhausts, it'll go off the aft of the boat. Pretty good generator. I got it at Harbor Freight, not terribly expensive. It runs 3,000 running watts and 3,500 peak watts. I can pretty much run the entire boat, anything I need power-wise off of this. And it's actually pretty quiet. I run it most of the night with the AC running, and I can connect it right into my shore power here, right into the boat. I use these bicycle cable locks to hold the generator in place since it's on wheels and it tends to vibrate and move around when running. This generator is a great temporary solution while I work on so many projects that require power, since I'm on a mooring ball and don't have access to shore power. Working different projects at one time, the boat started to get very cluttered. I bought lots of cheap storage containers to help keep things organized until I could finish some things up. This really freed up a lot of space. Another cheap and temporary solution was to string up tarps over the deck and cockpit of the boat with bungee cords. I did this primarily to keep the boat several degrees cooler during the summer by keeping the sun off the deck surface. Eventually, I'll replace these with a more durable and permanent solution, sunbrella that's cut and sewn to fit the boat. Most of the bimini tops on board had started to come apart at their seams. The tarps also help to keep the cockpit dry during the daily afternoon Florida thunderstorms. Once again, they're only temporary. These are just some of the big and small projects I've been working on lately. I'll have more updates on Moxie and the progress I'm making soon with some new videos. I've also been traveling lately, including a recent trip up to Rhode Island to visit some friends and spend some time on the water. For Sailing Moxie, I'm Matt. Thank you for watching.